every year I get super excited about Morristown Onstage. It is such a great local event. I think it is like one of my favorite New Jersey events of all time. And I'll tell you why, Melanie, in just a couple of minutes. But I'm really excited that I have Melanie Smith, who is the chair of the event. Mm-hmm. And you are also the vice chair of the Morris Educational Foundation, which obviously puts on Morristown Onstage. And it's really funny because when I first knew about the event, it was called Morristown's Got Talent. And I will tell you, the first time I attended the event, and I've been on the judging panel twice, it blew me away.
It is that kind of show, right? You go in expecting one thing and you experience something totally different, right? Amazing.
And let me tell you why. First of all, it's at the Mayo Performing Arts Center, just a beautiful, amazing theater. I'll tell you why, because I've been at WDHA for so many years. I had no idea, not the amount of talent, but the level of local talent that is right in our backyard and the diversity of it all.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk to me a little bit about the auditions, how people get involved. We do want to let people know the audition process is passed, and we're going to talk about how you can get tickets because they're selling really quickly, so we don't want you to get shut out. But how did you start the event, first of all? And talk to me a little bit about the audition process and where are these people coming from?
Well, so thank you for having me. First of all, Terry, you're a huge supporter of the event, so really glad to be here with you. So the event, it's funny you say that. The event actually is this year celebrating its 15th anniversary. So if you think back, right, 15 years ago, 2008 was the first show. It was really intended to do what you just said, which is to expose the amount of talent that we have in the community that surrounds Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains. So it was created to be a fundraiser. It started out, a much smaller event than it is today, now having matured into the theater, the Impact Theater in Morristown. But it was really created to be, it is our biggest fundraiser. So the auditions are in December of each year. The show happens in February. And the way that we do auditions is you have to have some tie to the community, right? This is about celebrating the Morris Township community. And anyone who wants to audition to be in the show has to have some sort of connection. Either you work in town, or you live in town, or you're an alum of Morristown High School, or you train, you take some sort of class. That, again, ties it back to the community and makes it feel kind of homegrown. But as you said, you go into that Mayo Theater and it's anything but, right? It's an amazing production. With the same production crew that produces all of those acts that you see there every night in the theater. So we want to tie it back to the community, but yet when you go to the theater to see the show, it feels so much bigger.
Yeah, it is. It's a giant production. I've sat there in awe, and I try to open my mind as a judge and not always think that it's going to be about musical people, because sometimes it's not. And there are so many different styles of music. I have seen jazz quartets, and I have seen people that are more on the rock side, and then people that are singing opera, and people that are doing Broadway, and then there's dance troupes. And I mean, it is really just incredible. And it's not all, people might think it's all kids, but it's not.
Right. No, we have two separate age groups that compete within, right? We have an 18 and under group, which are, I guess, the kids, and then there's a 19 and older. And again, it's not fair to have a 6-year-old out there singing, competing against someone who's 26, right? So we do separate those groups, and we have, prizes within each of those groups. But the diversity is amazing too. I don't know if you remember back maybe 4 years ago, the winner in the 18 and under was actually someone who did spoken word, which you wouldn't expect to hear.
I was there like that this, year, right? And it was just mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. It was really something incredible to see. We always have some sort of dance. This year we have an aerialist. So we have a young lady who is a Morristown High School student who is going to actually be off the ground on a lyra, like something from Cirque du Soleil.
Wow.
Which will be amazing.
Is that a first for that? That's gotta be a first. Yeah.
It is. I gave the theater its first challenge to try to figure out how to manage the lyra. That was a first for us and them. She's actually a repeat performer. She was in the show a few years back as a dancer, and then she's added this sort of aerialist component this year, which brought her right back to being a finalist. We have a group of steppers from in town. So again, the diversity you mentioned is definitely there. And of course, we have singers and bands, which you expect to see in a show like this, but lots of other diversity for sure.
Now, we want to let people know that tickets are on sale now. The performance is Wednesday, February 23rd, and you can grab your tickets via the theater. And if you want to give the website also, and give your website and let people know, how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, sure. So for tickets for the show, they are being sold through the Mayo Theater box office. That web address is mayoarts.org. mayoarts.org to buy tickets, and tickets have been on sale for a couple of weeks. The show does sell out, Terrie, as you know. You've been in the theater on show night, and it's a packed house, but there are still tickets left, so please go online and buy them as soon as possible. To learn more about either the MEF, the Morris Educational Foundation, or Morristown Onstage, you can go to our website, morriseducationalfoundation.org, or morristownonstage.com.
Yeah. And there's a lot of great information there. So talk to me about 15 years and what is going to be happening this year. What is special happening this year with the 15th anniversary, which is incredible. 15 years. It feels like just yesterday that this all started.
Yeah, so 15 years, 2008 was the first show, so 2022 is our 15th, and we're really excited about it. There's going to be, lots of looking back on what's happened, right? So as I said, Onstage is our biggest fundraiser for the MEF, and so we're going to be looking back at how the money we have raised from this event has impacted the Morris School District over the past 15 years. So there will be a couple of historical perspectives looking back over 15 years of both the show itself and how it's evolved, but also how the money we raise, which really is sort of the critical component of it, how that money has impacted and improved the educational experience of the Morris School District students. There will be a couple of other surprises that I'm not going to talk about, but anybody who buys a ticket and gets a seat in the theater will experience, I think, probably one of our best shows yet on February 23rd.
Wow. Because the shows are so great. Here's what I love about the show too. It moves. There's never downtime. There's never sort of this like lag in energy.
Mm-hmm.
It is just like bam, 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 and then all of a sudden, as a judge, I would be like, "Wait a minute, so we have to judge now?
The show's over.
The show's over, because it just moves, and the production value is so great. People are on, people are off, people are on, people are off, and it's a wonderful family event." For people that have been cooped up and haven't really spent any time outside of their homes with the kids or with their friends, it's a really great communal event to go to, because for just the simple fact that it's just so fun.
Yeah, it is. So I was just talking to the young woman who's the talent coordinator on our committee, and she just said to me the other day, the show goes by so fast that night, right? We do all this work, we spend a year planning. It's like a wedding, right? You're at your wedding and then you realize, okay, the wedding is over and now it's time to just be married. It's sort of the same thing, right? The show is about 2 hours long, but it does go by really fast. And the good news about that is that it's a really well-run show, right? When you're in the audience, everything just sort of happens seamlessly.
Moving and grooving.
We're backstage, we're like running side to side, trying to make sure that it happens that way. But it is a really well-run show. The theater does an amazing job. But
each performer is on too for the right amount of time.
Yeah.
I found myself being so drawn in when I was there to the operatic performances. Because you're just marveled by the vocal talents, of the people that are in front of you. And then when it's over, it always leaves you wanting more, which I think is brilliant in a production. When the artist leaves the stage and you're like, but wait a minute, is that it? I thought we were going to get just a little bit more. The dance troupes are incredible. I don't know how they do it, especially with acrobatic type components on that stage. I mean, the precision is incredible, and there's always some sort of, dance troupe, acrobatic something going on. I mean, obviously you have an aerialist this year, so that is going to be a mind blower for people to see. But how is it for you guys to sort of accrue the talent and get the talent in? Because I would imagine a lot of people audition for this.
Hmm.
So how do you choose to keep it sort of a very diverse, different kind of show and not have it sort of be everything follows the same tone?
Right. Yeah, I mean, so it's not the same recipe every year as you can imagine because the ingredients are different, right? It depends on
Yes.
who shows up, right? So if you get 50 people come to the door, each year it's different 50 people. So, I mean, the main goal is to produce a show that is worthy of spending the money to come spend a night out with us in the theater. But at the same time, you can't have 15 of the same. So it's about having the best performers, but having a diverse set of finalists so that the show is interesting and engaging and you're not sure what's going to come next. You may see it in the program, but you're not really sure what's going to happen. So it's really about just making sure we have the best talent that comes in for auditions and making sure it's diverse. I will say that in the 4 years I've been on this committee, each year the talent is so open and accepting of feedback from us. We have Tara Burney, who was our MC. She's the utmost of professionals. She
Wonderful job. Awesome.
gives amazing feedback to really make sure that they are their best selves on stage because it's one thing to audition at Morristown High School in the auditorium. It's another thing to be on that beautiful stage at the Mayo, right? And so a lot of times they get there on rehearsal day and they're just sort of stuck like, oh my gosh, this place is so big. But she's so good about keeping them calm, giving them feedback, because that person from audition to show night has really grown and matured, even in that short amount of time in their own craft. So we pick them, but then we work with them throughout, the next couple of months to make sure that who shows up that night is kind of really worthy of being on the Mayo stage. So it's a process that we've perfected over 15 years. I didn't perfect it; I sort of inherited it, but it does what it needs to do, and we have a great set of finalists for that night.
Yeah, absolutely. It never disappoints. And yeah, Tara does a great job, especially when she's on stage hosting and filling
Hmm.
in the blanks in between
Yeah,
the performers,
yeah.
because there's a lot to be said. And there are screens up, and it's just an amazing performance. I'll tell you, every
Hmm.
year it blows me away. And looking so forward to this year. It's going to be a full capacity show.
Hmm.
Also, we want to let
Yep.
everybody know and get your tickets because you said right now before we started this, you said we're in ticket mode. So
We
we're moving
are. We are very
along the
much.
ticket
Yep.
here. Yeah. So we want everybody to get their tickets. Don't get shut out and bring the family. Bring the family out for a long overdue, wonderful
Hmm.
night where you can take everybody out to this show and just have an awesome time. And it's for a great cause. So you won't
Yep.
feel like, oh, should we go out? Should we not go out? No, go out, have a great time, and support an absolutely phenomenal cause and watch some incredible talent. So
Hmm.
I would imagine that you right now with, less than 2 weeks ish till
2 weeks. 2 weeks to go.
yeah, you're probably in crazy show mode.
Yeah, I mean it's this show, the planning of it is it's a well-oiled machine. Is this is year 15, right? So we've learned a lot and we've learned not to make the same mistakes. But yeah, I mean it's 2 weeks away. So it's now down to the finer details of making sure we produce the best show for people who buy tickets and come spend the evening with us. One thing I did want to mention that is new for this year is we are running a raffle, a 15th anniversary premium raffle, which is part of our fundraising. We do have tickets still available, and so to celebrate the 15th, the grand prize is $15,000 in cash.
Wow.
So who wouldn't want to win $15,000 in cash? And a couple of other levels of prizes, but it's a great raffle, and again, the money is going towards the Morris School District and helping us, you know, sponsor programs and other things in the district. So you can get information on how to get a ticket again on morristownonstage.com. But
I
it's
love
another
that.
way that we're celebrating the 15th anniversary with something special for audience members. We're going to draw the winners live that night on stage. You need not be present at the show to win the raffle, but of course, it'd be better. What better way than to win it than to be in the seat and hear your name called
Oh,
for the
fantastic.
15,000? Yeah.
Fantastic. And every year you sort of up it a little bit and it gets to be a more exciting game than it was the year before.
Yeah, it's getting harder to do that every year, right? Keeping it fresh and new. Luckily, the basis of the show is so good that we need not change too much, but we're every year trying to have another little spin, to keep people coming in the door, to support us and all that we're doing.
Melanie, it was so awesome to have you check in with me. Thank you so much. We look so forward to the show on February 23rd at the Mayo Pac. Just a great place to see a show, and this one will blow you away. It does me every year. Morristown Onstage. Get your tickets now because you don't want to get shut out, and more than likely you will if you wait too long. Because
it sells out every year, so buy your tickets sooner than later.
Yay. Thank you so much, Melanie.
All right. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it.